In a detention center facility near Newark, New Jersey, a small group of people held by immigration authorities has begun a hunger strike to demand basic dignity, things like access to legal counsel, transparent release procedures, and adequate medical care. What started as a quiet, desperate act of resistance has become a public test of our shared humanity. Organizers and family members say this is a last resort after repeated attempts to resolve grievances through official channels. Health professionals who have visited the site warn that the physical toll is mounting and call for immediate independent medical evaluations. Those refusing food are not some abstractions. They are parents, siblings, neighbors, and coworkers. The people in Newark, none of them have been charged with crimes. Supporters have circulated statements and videos documenting worsening conditions and pleading for oversight. Family members describe sleepless nights and mounting fear as they watch their loved ones weaken. And please realize no one goes on a hunger strike unless it's their last resort. There are reports that those participating in the hunger strike are being retaliated against and even beaten in some cases. Local advocates say the strike is meant to force transparency and to protect lives, not to provoke confrontation. Medical volunteers report symptoms consistent with prolonged fasting and urge that any response prioritize care over punishment. A heavy handed enforcement response would risk serious harm to people who are already in a vulnerable state and would deepen mistrust between immigrant communities and authorities, as if that situation wasn't bad enough already. Legal experts note that moving or punishing hunger strikers without proper medical safeguards raises constitutional and humanitarian concerns. Community leaders warn that escalation could inflame tensions and widen the crisis into a broader public emergency. At the same time, a meaningful, transparent response, independent medical checks, access to legal counsel, and clear release criteria could diffuse the standoff and restore some measure of trust, at least on the local level. This moment asks for something simple and profound of each of us, which is to see the people behind the headlines and to act on their behalf. When institutions hold power over life and liberty, public attention and civic pressure are often the difference between neglect and care. Civic pressure campaigns work. We've seen this in the cases of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, Liam Ramos, and many, many more. If you believe that humane treatment, due process, and medical safety matter and should be available to everyone, now is the time to intervene with compassion and purpose. So here are some ways you can help right now. Contact your elected officials. Call or email your local, state, and federal representatives and urge them to request independent medical evaluations, transparent reporting, and humane treatment for detainees. Reach out to oversight bodies, file complaints or requests for inspection with relevant oversight officers and inspector generals. Support legal aid. Donate to or volunteer with organizations providing legal representation to detainees so people can access counsel and fair process. Amplify verified information. Share trustworthy reporting, statements from family members, and verified updates from advocacy groups to keep public attention focused on safety and accountability. You can also attend vigils and peaceful demonstrations. Join local vigils, prayer gatherings, peaceful rallies that call for humane treatment and independent oversight. You can contact the facility directly and oversight hotlines. Use official complaint lines to report medical neglect or rights violations and request immediate medical attention for hunger strikers. So you can also support bail and bond funds. You can contribute directly to community bail funds and organizations that help secure release for people who are eligible. And you can engage the local media. Tip reporters, provide verified documentation, and encourage sustained coverage so the situation does not just fade from public view. You can also sign and share petitions. Add your name to petitions that demand independent monitoring and humane conditions, and encourage others to do the same. These are not abstract policy problems. They are urgent human crises unfolding in real time. If you value dignity, medical safety, and due process, if you think that people shouldn't be tortured just for requesting basic human dignity, please lend your voice and your time. Call your representatives, support legal and medical advocates, and keep the spotlight on humane solutions. When enough of us act, as we've seen over the last year and somewhat, institutions are more likely to choose care over coercion. Please let our shared humanity be the force that protects these lives today.